Let me take you to another part. Like I said, I'm not afraid of nothing. My best years behind me. I have lived a fruitful life, eating beans and cornbread and drinking water. I was satisfied with that, greater than any man eating at a fancy restaurant. I didn't care about eating at McDonald's, but McDonald's, at the point I came up, they were not allowing black people to eat there. There's a black mark on them. There was Washington that had one side for white and the other side of black. On job, we were separated, working on the same job, but at the Southern Pacific Railroad, the black man before I arrived there only got hired as a machinist helper. It was only when I got there we became machinists. If a white man get angry because he been pull a wrench, it was told to me. I don't know this about the black machine helpers, which became old men and got promoted to machinists. At the time they was ready to retire, they would tell us when those white men come in younger than they was and made authority over them, they hurt their knuckles upon when they wrench slipped. They'd take and slang that wrench from one end to the other, and he was the cause of that wrench hurting his finger. No. And they would tell that black machinist helper, it doesn't matter if he was senior, was seniority, but he was a helper because he could not advance. But they would can't come in and be made a machine. He would tell them, you go get it. He had to go get it under the command of that person who is far, who is young enough to be his grandson. All get fired. Lord, this ship got to quit sailing. It's got to come to an end. I don't know the significance of the vision that God gave to me last night, but it troubled me, and I was awakened from my sleep. I want to get this in when I can, because God is keep on talking to me. It doesn't matter what these people sit up and do and say. I'm going to keep on pouring my spirit out. I don't care about what they say, because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to say thus, said the Lord. Well, I was standing. I kept watching this water. It's a great tempest came in the midst of the sea of water. And I looked, I was hungry at the time, but this tempest had been went down in the ocean, and there was giant shark looking things. I call them whales, but these things look like giant sharks. It had been lifted a whole school of these creatures up out of the ocean as if there had became a mighty tempest in the ocean and the sea. It was so great until it lifted the whole school. And as I began to watch these great giant fish in amaze at the thing that was having that caused these things to be lifted up out of the sea, I continued to watch. And as I seen, I said, they coming down. My brother was with me, and I said, they coming down. As the wind, the great wind that lifted him up there, was releasing him down. I was standing on one side of an embankment, and I was shouting to my brother who was on another side of an embankment. as if it had become a separation of this part of the earth from that part of the earth, or that part from this part, and I saw a giant crack into the earth. Apparently, it was in the United States of America. As I was yielding to the other side, to my brother, which was on the other side, I said, look above all of those giant fishes up in the clouds as the tempest of a storm had went down into the earth and lifted these great fish up into the air. I was amazed at these things. But after they came down, I said, we need to go over here and get them. They slammed down to the earth and they bounced backwards. We went and tried to search for them fishes. But at that point in time, when I saw these fishes look like giant whales or giant sharks, it scared me so bad, I became so troubled until I woke up. Got up and said, I'm going to start my day. But when I started my day trying to put the water pump on my vehicle, I spoke this thing. God touched my heart and said, go and look on your computer. Go and put another sermon out here. And when I listened to Joe Biden on my computer, speaking against Barack Obama, he's not a sacred man of God. John McCain is not a sacred man of God. It doesn't matter what kind of synagogue they take and go into. Do not listen to these people. When I look and I see a man of these white preachers, I'm going to tell you the same thing. They're preaching the same old lie that they did 100 years ago. And the same old man using the same democrat of hatred they have plagued our people and pretending while wearing alligator shoes and snakes draped in snakes skin. They're preaching the same old lies, trying to deceive our people in further destruction. Yeah, God is trying to bring a revelation to you. God, well, he's sitting there talking about what Barack Obama did. He should be impeached. Done it. How come you taking 5 charges against President George W. Bush? If the Rwandans slayed over 800,000 with the blade of a sword, and in 2008, before President George W. Bush came out, they were celebrating 1 million soldiers that they had flew and dropped over in Iraq. And these things cost far more than the blades of swords. Well, if they sit in line and said they only killed 100,000, well, heck, what were they flying these soldiers for? Why didn't they take 100,000 men and put over there with swords and let them go there with the swords and slaughter the 100,000 which they killed with 1 million soldiers? You keep fluctuating, jumping from one table speaking lies and other table speaking lies, but there's a judgment upon you where God let me saw your life. Something just don't make sense. The same manner, when you sit and said you found 40 from 4,200 people slaughtered, tortured, and slaughtered, and dumped on the street, and George W. Bush said they was killing 1,500 a month ever since January, and this was the year one now. But on this hand, I said somebody ought to be seeing somebody. We had raw, wet rest in our house more smarter than that. Something does not add up. These things don't make sense because you find people's going in and out of Walmart